In this Python project, we're going to be creating a script which scrapes emails from any URL. So for this example, I have a website that actually generates random emails. And what we want to do, of course, is take those 50 emails from the web page and save it as a list inside our script so we can do whatever we want with that information later. So if you have a lot of websites, you can scrape as many emails as you want. Now, if we run this test scraper, you'll see that it's going to start up the browser in what they call headless mode, which means we're not going to open the browser with Selenium as usual, but we are going to still open it in silent mode. So it's going to be minimized and it's actually not even going to show up. So it's pretty cool because it looks like we didn't open any browser, but we actually did, so that we could load the JavaScript and load these emails and scrape them. So if we actually go to this website, you'll see it generates 50 random email addresses. And if we refresh that, it will generate them again. So the first thing we have to do is create a new empty project. And it's important that you have your Chrome driver for this project to work. In case you don't have it, go to the setup section of this course because I explain it there, how you can download Selenium and how you can set up your Chrome driver. Otherwise, we can get rid of this default script, make this a bit smaller and open up the terminal so we can pip install Selenium. Then we're going to close that and make this slightly bigger. Now to validate emails, we're going to have to import regex. Regex just makes it easy to follow some patterns. So for example, if we see some sort of @ symbol followed by .com, regex is going to be able to recognize that. Then we are going to import from typing the final type. And we also need to import some very specific functionality from Selenium. So from Selenium import WebDriver, then from selenium.webdriver.chrome.options, we want to import options, and we're just going to duplicate that line and change the last two to service and service. Next, what I'm about to paste in is a regex pattern. And this can be found on my GitHub repository, which is located, of course, in the resource section of this lesson. And this is regex. As you can see, it's a lot of symbols that don't really make sense to us, but that will help us recognize patterns that match emails. And regex isn't something you have to learn by heart. As you can see, there is so much that doesn't make sense there. All that's important is that you find a working regex expression online. You can type it on Google. You'll see that there are thousands of them in case you want to find phone numbers, or if you want to find emails, or if you want to find something else. You will always be able to find a regex expression written online. So you don't ever have to create this by scratch. But let's continue with our program and create a class called browser. And this class is going to need an initializer, which will take a driver of type string. And we have a lot of attributes to initialize. But first we will type in starting up browser. And next we can type in self.chrome options is going to equal the options, so that we can add some options such as making that headless browser, because it's annoying to open up a browser each time we run the script. So we want to run it without the browser. And to do that, we'll type in self.chrome options .add argument, and the argument we have to add is a flag that says headless, and that's going to prevent the browser from showing. And there are a few arguments you can add to speed up your program. So for example, you can add something such as disable extensions if you don't want Google Chrome to run any extensions. That will save some time. And also disable GPU. You don't have to include these if it's running fast enough, but it can help you save some time. Then under that, we need to create a service. So self.service is going to equal a service that takes our driver, and the browser. So self.browser is going to equal a WebDriver.chrome uppercase, and it's going to take the service of type service or self.service and the options, which are going to be self.options or Chrome options. Below that, we need to create a function that scrapes the emails. So def scrape emails, and it's going to take self, and this is actually supposed to be outside. So we'll get there, and it's going to take a URL to scrape. and it's going to return to us a set. And the reason we're returning a set is because we don't want to get duplicates back. And a set is a very efficient way of removing duplicates from a list or from anything. So we can print scraping URL for emails. Then we will open the browser by calling self.browser and get with the URL. We also want to get the page source back, so we'll type in page source, which will be of type string, and that's going to equal self.browser.pageSource. And you should call this after you've loaded the browser or the URL, so we can actually get that source code back. But right below that, we're going to type in list of emails, and that's going to be of type set, and it's going to equal an empty set. Now for regex match in regex.findItter, we're going to insert the email regex. So it's going to scan the page source for everything, and it's going to return to us some emails if there are any. So list of emails dot append, or dot add actually, because we are using a set, and we're going to add that regex match dot group. And at the bottom, we want to return the list of emails. And as always, we're going to create a function called close browser. We might not use it, or we might use it eventually, but it's good to have it. So here we'll type in closing browser, followed by self.browser.close. Outside of this class, we can type in main, or actually we're going to create a function called main to keep our code tidy. And we need to create a driver of type string, which is going to be equal to your driver path. Right now I have Chrome driver in my main folder, so all I have to do is type in Chrome driver, and it will refer to this one over here. And the browser is going to equal a browser with the driver set to the driver. And for the emails that we want to scrape, which will be emails of type set, we're going to create a browser.scrapeEmails, and we need to insert the URL that we want to scrape the emails from. And to test it, I have this link here. So again, it generates 50 different email addresses for us to scrape. And we can actually list those out by typing in for I and email in enumerate emails at the start of one. Then we can print I email with the separator being this colon and a space. Then all that's left for us to do is to actually run it. So if name is equal to main, we will run main, format it, and tap on run. It's going to start up the browser, and if everything goes good, we should get 50 emails back that we can use. And as you can see, it's scraping this URL for emails. If you insert a website that doesn't have any emails on the web page, it's not going to return anything back to you. It's going to return actually nothing. So as a homework problem, I want you to create a message saying that there were no emails. And as an alternative homework problem, you can create another regex pattern that actually recognizes phone numbers and other information from websites. All that's important is that you play around with the RE match in re.findItter, because you can create a lot of different patterns. You can even just duplicate this, change this to, let's say, phone numbers. So scrape numbers, add the regex for phone numbers here, and scrape some phone numbers as well. But as you can see, if we just print the emails that we scrape, it's going to return everything to us as a set. And since this was empty, we didn't get anything back, of course. So let's populate that list with something cool, such as 50 emails. And if we run it one more time, we should get 50 emails put inside a set. Unless it contains duplicates, then we will have less. But we managed to scrape the emails from this website using our script.